All right, we are here at the Coachella Invitational, of course, with head coach Luchi Gonzalez. Second straight year at Coachella Invitational. Thanks for doing this again with us. Got to meet you last year in this exact setup. Now a year in and kind of seeing the way that what you've done with the team and getting to kind of observe the way you play. What's different in preseason 2 compared to preseason 1?
Not too much. I think continuity is important, right? So we are farther advanced in terms of our game model. Like, the players understand our language. They've seen plenty of video of how we want to attack, how we want to build pressure. We do have new players, new additions that are getting up to speed, and some young guys, draftees, etc. Guys coming through the second team, the academy. So that's exciting. But our goal this preseason was, hey, a little bit less teaching and a little bit more competing, right? Because we feel like we've made advancements. We've progressed in these areas. And so maybe that's the subtle change, but we do want to be consistent. We want to be consistent in a lot of those areas. And the foundation of the group is very strong. Yes, there was movement in the off season, and we've got to make the roster work with cap and try to get better. And we're very grateful for all the guys that gave everything to this club and our fans last season. But we're excited about taking another step and continuing to progress in 2024.
Are there any particular competitions that you're excited about watching and unfolding through the course of this season?
Competitions in terms of the roster? Yeah. Oh, every day. From unfortunately JT's injury, that was tough. This is a homegrown player and so good in our competition with our goalkeeping, and him and Daniel were pushing each other, and it gets the best out of everybody. So, but bringing William Yarbrough in gives you that kind of experience, MLS goalkeeper, national team experience. So, and so that competition is really healthy right now, and Daniel had a fantastic season for us and key moments that allowed us to be very solid defensively, and be in every game that we played in. So that's a competition area. The back line, adding Bruno Wilson to a Tanner and a Rodri who won important games together last year. Bruno bringing experience from Portugal. That's a great competition. Daniel Muti looks already more mature, more confident than last preseason. And you got a Casey Walls who's up and coming, who had a really good season with the second team. So there's good competition there. Fullbacks. You got Paul, who's right or left-sided and as a fullback. And he's offensive-minded, supports the attack. But I saw him really mature and develop as a defender last year, and he took the concepts really well, and he improved them. Akapo's back from AFCON, and then we just signed Victor Costas, who's going to give us this rangy left-sided player who's going to support the attack, create 2-versus-1s in the attack, but also be a very stern, athletic defender, good in the air, and more Portuguese experience. He's Brazilian, but Portuguese experience in that league, and that's a physical, fast, technical league. So good competition on the fullbacks. Oscar Verhoeven, Tommy Thompson. Oscar's coming up and coming and learning and maturing. And Tommy has a lot of experience, and he's a Swiss Army knife for us so that's healthy. In the midfield, Gresso, Jackson, Baldy, Alfredo Morales coming in with experience in national team and MLS Cup champion for New York City FC. 6'8", I think we're pretty covered. Nico's got an injury right now, but he's bouncing back pretty soon. He's versatile. He can play 8'6", 8'10", like whatever the game needs. He's a smart player, and he can fill that. We are working probably on attacking mid or second forward, central attacking player in terms of this DP opportunity and spot that we have. So we're working hard to try to take advantage of that. And then on the wing, you got Benji, Jack. By the way, Jack can play central as well. He's been doing that in the preseason because he's vertical and he can play between lines. And he's dangerous around the goal. But, on the wing, Christian, what a season he had. And we had a great talk with him. And his mentality is like, hey, I don't want to do the same. I'm not trying to maintain. I'm trying to get better, coach. I want to get better. So that's already giving you insight on his mentality and training, that he wants to be better. He wants to be challenged to have more ways of scoring, more ways of assisting, more ways of impacting the game. And he's a co-captain with Jackson. So, more leadership development. So, that's a great opportunity for him to keep helping us go where we want to go. Adding Pellegrino is an experienced left winger. He's coming in with experience, technique, clarity, vision. He has just as many assists last year than he had goals, and that's a level of maturity and production that we're really excited to work with here, and as another left winger. And then, like I said, Benji and Jack, they're going to give us things. Will Richmond's up, he's a young player coming through. Buddha, so there's competition there in the wings. We have a U22 spot. Maybe we add another attacking option there that brings excitement, youth, and value. And then centrally, Jabo is a goal scorer, and he did some important things for us last year. He wants to do even better. We want everybody to do better, and that's the ambition. But that comes with competition. And Preston Judd now is in our competition. He's got speed. He runs it behind. Scored some important goals for Galaxy last year. I think we're lucky to have him, and that adds to our depth as well. So I'm really excited about like these pieces that we got some experience, proven production, and then we have maybe some unproven in the youth. But the projection is exciting. I have a lot of experience in whether it's my former professional experience or in the national team. Like you have to match the experience with the youth and the projection and the energy of a young up and coming player. And I think that balance is something that I look forward to for this season.
I want to talk a little bit about Pellegrino. We want to dive a little more into the players in the first part of this. What's really striking about him is how different he is than what you've had on the left wing. You've had that pace and that athleticism and that driving the ball forward, on the dribble. Mm-hmm. He's almost feels like an opposite of that. He seems more like a passer, a cerebral player, someone who finds the space in the box, and very opportunistic and really good quality finisher when he gets the ball in the box. How does having is that your impression as well? And then if so, like how does having that different type of player you think change what you're able to do with the attack?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Look, MLS is a very challenging league. There's players that I've had a lot of personal conversations with. Maybe they had their experiences in Europe or South America. They get here and it's like, wow, this is a very fast, athletic, intense, physical league. The travel, the weather conditions, it's a long season, and to sustain at a high level is not easy. So you're right. We had a Miguel Trauco and a Cade, and that complement was very good. It was dangerous. It helped us compete, and maybe didn't put all the crazy stats on the board. Great to see Cade score some goals the other day in international competition with Chivas, and he's doing it with space. But I'd say like I think MLS has less space than the Liga MX. It's the lines are more compact and it's very athletic. It's an athletic league. I thought last year that's what was our tool. That was our tool and our weapon was a Miguel. It's not going to get as forward as much, but good in the build-up and can hit a diag or shoot top of the box and let kind of Cade be this winger in isolation. And we feel and we know based on our actions, we want to create another complement, which is a little bit more of a rangy left fullback, a guy that we know will create numbers advantages in the attack. That's athletic and rangy to get up and back, and with experience though, and then a winger who can be wide or can be between the lines, but loves combinations, is cerebral, will read the game and timing and runs in behind. Maybe he's not all this power and speed, but he actually has a big gallop. He has a big stride, covers a lot of ground. If you look at his GPS, high level numbers of total distance, and because he covers a lot of ground. And he's super active and he has great timing and he loves to get in the box and he loves to assist. So like those are profiles that we feel can complement where we want to go next. And we've been very intentional this offseason to try to do that.
It's pretty typical, for any coach entering a new club to maybe focus first on the defense and securing the defense and fixing the defense. And it seems like you were able to make a lot of those improvements last year. Is there more focus on the offensive production because maybe there was a little more struggle there last season heading into this year and in this preseason and on creating those different patterns of play and different combinations and, maybe reconfiguring the way that front line looks?
Yeah, I would say I agree with that. And that was the intention last season. Obviously, we have an identity of how we want to build up with a shape and a structure so we can occupy space and we can break lines and we can attack. And we scored really important goals, right? Like we won important games, scored We were one goal away, though, from that ultimate prize of like not just being in playoffs, but hosting playoffs, playing in front of our fans, in front of our families. That is our objective into 2024. We want to make playoffs and play at home in front of our family and fans. And so in the most simple way, like that's the next step. That's the next ambition we have. But yeah, I would agree with that. I would say the defensive structure. So think about this. Our build-up structure was really important, that we knew at some point you lose the ball, because the game is you win or lose with transition moments. It's rare you score with a 30-pass sequence. It's nice when you see it every now and then, but it's rare. Most goals are in transition moments with quick passing combinations and verticality. So we want to have a structure in our buildup that allows us to break lines, to bring the ball forward and advance the attack. But if we lose it, we have a press after loss, and we have numbers to do it. And I'm really proud because I thought we executed that pretty well. We gave up a lot less transition goals last year, and we had a goalkeeper that came out big in key moments. So the structure with the ball, I think, allowed us to be good in defensive transition. And yeah, we did work on principles of how we want to defend, how we want to get pressure on the ball, but how do we want to be good in our mid block, our low block. Now, we conceded 26 goals less last year, which helped us compete, and obviously clearly gave us competitive advantages to make points and be in the playoffs. Now, offensive production, if we can bring up our offensive production, it's not just about tying that game or winning 1-0 or losing 2-1. Like, let's win. Let's put a team away 2-0, 3-0. Like, I think we lacked a little bit of that killer instinct offensively to put games away, and I think we have the opportunity to improve that. So I do agree with that. So we are mindful from the preseason. We want to improve offensively, personnel-wise, and with concepts. But we still want to. I don't like the word maintain, but we want to improve in how we build pressure. We still want to protect our goal, but I believe the next step by doing is actually getting more pressure on the ball, keep the opponent farther away, and I want to be more effective in how we build pressure, because we have volume of pressure. But if they break our front line with a direct ball or a ball between lines, what's our reaction? Is it a back press? Is it a second ball principle? So I think we still have opportunities to get better there.
And one of the key positions on the field in those transition moments, both offensively and defensively, is the number 10 attacking midfield role. You mentioned that's an area where you're still potentially looking to add a player, potentially a DP signing. What are the characteristics for that player that are particularly important for you and for this team right now?
Yeah, I think today that position is occupied by good players. For example, if Nico's a good 8-10. I think his best position, and the position that he'll have the most experience as he gets older, is as an 8, right? But he has the versatility to be the 8-6, 8-10. And so Nico has a lot of potential because he can dribble carry. He breaks lines on the dribble in combination. He brings the game forward. He's still young. He's still getting experience about his last pass, his shooting. And that's gonna come with more experience and more confidence and more opportunities, and as he earns that. Jack Scahan's a player that we play between the lines. You've seen some of that in preseason, and he's a guy that is good in the pockets. He can receive and drive with speed, and he runs in behind, he runs in the box, and a little less positional maybe than a Nico, but has like verticality. So I think those two profiles are really interesting today in that position. Jackson can play in there as well. Like, right, we have some players that can play with Alfredo, Gresso, Baldi, right, and then Nico, and then you can even have Jackson in an advanced position. He has playmaking ability. He did that in his youth and in his earlier years. But yes, look, we know that's we can compete today with the pieces we have, but we know we're going to add an attacking player that's going to be between lines and central. So attacking mid, second forward, we're keeping that door open. It's got to be the right fit on and off the field for us. It's got to make sense. But we're looking around, and we want to make the best decision possible. But yes, that is a key area that we want to just add to production, playmaking, assisting goals, and the things that are going to help us win games, not just defensively, but like you were saying, offensively.
An acquisition that I would say did not come as a surprise is picking up someone like a William Yarborough. Has a very similar profile as JT, and in some ways a similar skill set. Has that experience from Mexico, and very clearly and is a good locker room person, can very clearly come in and he can start when you need him to. If Daniel's not available, but he's also going to bolster your core. So it was very interesting when a couple of days ago, the announcement of Mikolai, I'm going to make sure I got the name right, Nagansky.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit more as, we won't get a chance to talk to Chris Leacher, he had to depart early, but can you give us a little bit insight maybe into that particular acquisition? You had 3 goalkeepers with Emmy, and what you saw maybe here that made it interesting to go out and get him.
We thought last season was difficult. We asked you the question. You have 2 keepers, JT and Danielle.
Yeah.
Now you have 4 keepers who have starting experience.
Yeah, and it's funny because we joke with Aiden Brown, our goalkeeper coach. He has a goalkeeper camp out there every day. He's got these bigger numbers, and he's certainly enjoying that.
He's going out. Can I get a 5th?
He's getting greedy on us, but it's all good. Miko came through research with our data team, and he has high projection through his stats. He's already played first division in Poland, and he still has a good young age. So it was just a good value and a good opportunity to just add to our depth. But it was intentional. That would be a young player that could have high projection. People forget Emmy is young. People forget he's an 05.
Is it 19? 18?
Yeah, think about that for a second. You know what I mean? Like, this is a really young keeper still, and keepers and center backs are the latest to debut,
right?
Because of the positions and they're the last player before the goal, and so that takes time to trust and to earn confidence. But Emmy's doing really well. Like, Emmy just came back from a Mexico U20 camp and got the keeper of the camp of the tournament, the international tournament, 16 teams. So wow. He's developing and he's growing and improving. So. And then William, you mentioned William, like again, it came from a misfortune of a JT, but JT's working so hard. He's going to bounce back by the end of the summer and be in competition. But, it's a great addition in terms of experience, where we know we can have 2 guys now that have MLS experience and get the job done. And William has a great mentality. Like, he's here to support whatever decisions are made of who's in goal, because it's one spot, but he's also very competitive. And that gets the best out of Daniel, gets the best out of him. So we're happy with that. Miko is a player that is going to get most his experience with the second team, obviously. And then if he takes advantage of that, then we'll go from there. And same with Emmy. We're going to go from there.
Is it in the back of your mind that if Danielle keeps putting up numbers that are among the best in Major League Soccer, that there could be other clubs who are interested in him putting in offers this summer,
sure, and
that there could be opportunities that he might want to take this summer?
Yes, that's what comes with players doing well. Look at Christian in the summer. He thankfully re-signed, and he believes in our project, and we're so lucky to have him now for multiple more years. But there were clubs very interested in him in the summer, and it could have gone in a different direction, right? But that comes with good work and the players grabbing opportunities. And if Daniel's doing that, that's good for us, because that means he's taking care of business for us in goal. And if it's creating value where there's interest outside, like, there's only so many things I can control as a coach. I'd love to have him for many more years for our fans and our club. But if there's ever something out there really good for the club and good for him, and we can get better and reinvest it, like, I've done that many times in my career. So if I have to do it again, I'll be ready.
We want to go to rapid fire?
Let's go to rapid fire. We got someone already waiting for us here, and we appreciate your time as always, Luchi.
Sure.
But we like to ask these little offbeat questions, get to know you a little bit better. Now a second year, but maybe you don't know enough about us. What is the thing that you wish we talked about in press conferences, asked you about, and we don't do enough of, and you wish we knew or wish we asked?
Honestly, guys, I think you guys, I feel in your hearts you support this club unconditionally, and you want what's best for it. So I feel that from you guys, in your energy, in your tone. And the reason I know is because you also you have questions that test things and challenge ideas and can question, how can something be better? Are we disappointed because this is not good enough? So I think those are the standards you guys have, and the care you have for the game and then this club. So just keep doing what you're doing. I don't think there's anything more. Just keep doing what you're doing with the right balance.
More hard questions is what I is what I heard out of that answer.
Yeah,
this is the 50th anniversary year for the Earthquakes organization. We want to know what's your favorite memory associated with this organization? Maybe favorite legend that you've interacted with around the club.
Oh wow. Obviously, I played here almost 22 years ago. I was unfortunately in that year between the championships, but I learned about championship mentality at that time. That was a while ago. I would say recently, just, having lunch with Frank Gallo and his lovely wife, and just being engaged with him and talking about, how the game has changed, the league has evolved, and just learning from him, and just admiring him and respecting him so much, and just knowing that he's genuinely really giving care, love, support to me to be successful at San Jose as the head coach. That means the world to me. That dinner, that moment, staying connected, engaged with him, his family, it's really special to me.
Bruno Wilson's waiting for us over here. Portuguese speaker, you're getting a lot of them in the team. Do you know enough Portuguese to go into a Brazilian steakhouse and order dinner yet?
I don't know enough Portuguese. I have some vocabulary, but I can speak Spanish in a Portuguese accent. So I get away with it.
How's the Spanish and a Portuguese accent?
Yeah.
So what Bruno just said, you're not
I
going to be able
speak
to hear
Spanish, but with the Portuguese accent.
Bruno just said in Portugal they would call it Portuno.
Portuno, yeah.
Portuno.
Yeah, Portu not
Okay.
know.
Portuno not know. Right.
I can get away with it.
Okay.
I want to learn more, and I am learning more with the guys. But look,
Sure,
we have a good group of Brazilian Portuguese connection, and I think it's important because it's a culture that's created around like joy and these bonds through language and food and art. We learn about them in the team, but just to have a group of them together, I think is great, and we want to give them that support.
Well, thank you, Luchi, for joining us. It's a pleasure to be here. Good luck in your match tomorrow. We'll be there watching, and we'll see you on the Zoom screen after this throughout the season.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so
Appreciate
much,
having me
Luchi.
here.